Morning, everyone. Got a little different video for you today. My name is Tyler. I'm Shay's husband. So today, this weekend, we're going to be taking down this barn. Now, the gentleman owning this barn is about 5 hours away from home. I'm in Sidney, Montana, and he just wants it gone. And as you can see, it's leaning pretty darn hard. Now, part of, I guess you could say, homesteading is basically, I think, using your resources that you have or that you can get for cheap or free and utilizing them for other things. Now, obviously, this barn is in disrepair. The guy had contractors come out and look at it, and it is just, basically, it's going to cost more to build a brand new barn than it is to repair this one. So, that being said, and even to tear down, the contractor said that it was going to be pretty expensive. So if you can get somebody for free to tear it down, and I can take all the wood, so win-win for me. Yeah, it's a little bit of work, but you're not into homesteading if you don't want a little bit of work. So I'll kind of show you what my plan is for this thing, and I'll kind of take small videos as we go. I'm not going to time lapse anything. I'm not really sure how to do that. But I will show you kind of my process, what I end up doing, and what's different about this video versus every other building teardown video on the internet or on YouTube is I don't have any equipment. I'm going to do this all by hand with common hand tools, or as far as equipment goes, all I have is a chainsaw, a winch, and a truck and trailer. So yeah, we're gonna get this started here. I think my first plan of attack is going to be bracing this up, since I'm gonna have to start from the top down. I don't want this, we're taking a lot of structural points away. Sorry about the wind if you can hear me. We're taking a lot of structural points away from this, so if I take the top part off, that could be what is holding this from falling. So that being said, I'm gonna drill a couple holes in the siding over here, right about there-ish, and I'm just gonna run a chain around that big beam in that corner, and I'm just gonna run it to the front of my truck and park my truck right here. Unhook it from the trailer and park it right here. That way, it will at least, at minimum, stop the building from trying to push that way even more. So, we'll just walk inside really quick and I'll show you kind of what I am after with this. I don't know if this door opens. It does not. And a lot of this is going to be junk, there's some rot and things like that. But another thing is, what's cool, this is barnwood. For some reason, people like that barnwood, shabby chic look, and this stuff can be worth up to $4 or $5 a board foot. Now, a board foot is a piece 1 inch thick by 1 foot by 1 foot. So let's just say this was 1 inch and this was 4 inches, and this was 12 here. So roughly this section right here with these three is worth $4 or $5. So times that by whatever all this is. My math was this: if you were to sell it top dollar, this could be a $4,000 or $5,000 building. It's probably not that, but especially if you could sell it for bulk for cheaper. Matter of fact, it's for sale. So I'll show you what I'm kind of after. It's dark in here. So biggest thing I'm after, I don't really care about the siding. I'd like to keep it, or not keep it, I'd like to take it and try to sell it. But I am after these structural components of this. So not so much these posts here, but this nice 4x6 here, or it might even be a 4x8. That all these rough cut 2-inch by actual 6-inch 2x6s here. Once again, come in here. All these are really actually nice and straight 2x6s. So, and then, you know, this is probably a 6x8 right there. So that beam alone is worth a good amount of money. And that's why I like to do this stuff, is I love free things. And I try to do as much as I can to save money, for the most part. Shay will probably beg to differ, but we'll come upstairs quick here. And oh, I didn't realize there was hay up here. I'll have to ask the guy about that. But you know, it's just a nice old building, and there's a lot wrong with it, but in theory, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's not worth just taking a bulldozer to and destroying it, burying it, and everything. This is all really good wood. This shiplap, these horse stalls, like, all of it's good stuff, to me at least. And with a little bit of sweat equity, you can get things done. Okay, so I got my, there's a nice double 2x6 post in the corner. This corner here, remember the barn is leaning that direction. I have it hooked out to my truck to a tow hook. Now I put some pressure on it. I was able to accelerate back just a tiny bit. I didn't snap it, never snap a chain. But I did just slowly give it some pressure backwards. And then I hit the brake, I set the parking brake. Now that is solid. Now this, surprisingly, or well, I guess not surprisingly, but this to me gives me a lot more assurance that this is not gonna collapse at any point. I'm not saying it's 100% safe, I'm not saying it's 100% foolproof. If I was to do it, you know, correctly, I would probably, you know, put some posts in the ground with some concrete or something and put cables from each corner and everything. Well, I'm not doing that. Well, I only have a weekend to do this, so I don't have time to do that. But one of the concerns of the owner was that this is going to take a lot longer than a weekend. And I honestly don't think it will. Oh, I got some kitties. Hey, kitty. Oh, you're cute. Uh-oh. You got no tail. Uh-oh. Sorry, where was I at? Wait, he said it was going to take longer than that. I don't think it's going to, because I'm taking this thing in chunks. He said that he's had, you know, people come over and say this is going to take weeks to do. A legit contractor, yes, because they're going to take every nail, every screw, every bolt, everything. They're probably going to take the footings out of here. They're just going to do, it sounds bad, but a lot more work than what I'm going to do. So that being said, the way I'm doing things is faster and easier for here, but a lot less work. Now I'm gonna have to do a lot more work at home, which most people, or which a contractor wouldn't have to do. But yeah, look how much is leaning. But yeah, so this is a lot for me right here. This is gonna be a very nice bit of security. For now we have to take a ladder, extend it up. I would highly recommend these ladders. Now this is a, I don't know, Mighty Multi-Pro. This here, you can go, this will work as scaffolding. This way it can work as a ladder, a leaning ladder, or it can work as an upright ladder, you know, the pyramid style. If you release those, and this whole top part can twist down and up. If you undo these, see how each one of these is double runged? That's because it's actually two. So if you were to undo both of these sides, you can extend this. I think it goes all the way up to 22 feet, which will be plenty for what I need. So I would highly recommend those. You can get them at Menards. I know there's a company called Little Giant. They make one too. They're great. But we'll get the roof off up top and see where we're at. Hi everyone, just on my way home, I'm gonna slip this video in the middle kinda. I realized that I never told you that I had a change of plans. My original plan was to do it the way I did it. But then when I got there, I was like, you know what? I can go from the top down. Well, one, I didn't have anybody helping me, so my ladder was pretty rickety. It was super, super windy up there. And mind you, it's like a 6 or 7/12 pitch on the roof. So there was no way for me to have any grip at all, and I didn't have any fall harnesses or anything like that. So I made the decision to do it the way I did it, you'll see, and it's a little more destructive than I wanted to be, but I had to be done somewhere, or else I would have not been able to do it. So, yeah, enjoy. Sorry if you can't hear me because of the wind, but officially got all the tin and sheathing off of the easternmost area. So now, this is what I mean by taking apart versus like demolishing, I guess. So a contractor would come in, they'd pull all this siding off, they would do their thing, and they would take all these 2x6s off as one piece. Well, like, you know, so all the way to the end, to that end. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, power shut off, so don't worry about that. I'm going to cut them here, and then up there, right about, right next to the wall. And that will give me more than enough 2x6 that I need. Then this can be a little bit of waste here. And also, what is a good thing to me is, can't really tell, but those are very, very wiggly. That means that there's no pressure on them. So when I get to cutting it, I don't need to worry about this coming this way. Now, this whole wall here, I don't know if I can wiggle from here. This entire wall is literally not even attached to the building. So, and this is one of the walls that is slanted the most, or leaning the most. So, that's a good thing. Now I'm going to be able to cut the wall straight down the side and just push it outward, and then I should be able to just cut it down to the 8-foot length, and I could put it, just the whole wall, right up on my trailer with the help of a come along and straps and chains, whatever I need. A little bit of mechanical advantage, but I'll be able to just put it all on there at once. And that's my plan throughout the entire thing. So once that wall's down, I'll probably end up doing that wall over there, and that wall is also loose, and then I'll do this one. So yeah. Alright, so we have our roof pieces all cut. I was actually able to cut them on this side, and then they would fall and simply just lift up and it'd pry the nails right out of them. I have been, with every single step, been putting things on my trailer and getting ready for the next step. Well, so the next step is get the walls down. So that wall and this wall will be next, just because this one here is held on by this post here. So, and I'm gonna cut that one right where I cut those two wires at, so right there. So this half will go on the trailer, and then that half will go on the trailer. So if you look at this wall here, I have it cut all the way down in the corner, and if you watch it here, there's nothing left. This is the only part I cut, was right here. That roof truss was never connected. Focus. That roof truss was never connected, and it's just so broken right there. But I'm gonna see if I can get it on video
of this thing falling. Alright, so sorry if the camera falls. But alright, so full transparency, my idea did not work. The outside boards are just too loose. The inside boards are a little bit rotten around the nails. So it does not work just to throw the whole, I can move it easy enough actually to throw the whole thing on there, the whole wall. But I was able to really easy, basically just step on and lift up on the studs and just get it separated, and then I just had to pick it up all by hand. There's some junk stuff, some stuff that's breaking, it's kind of rotted. Sorry about the wind again, but if you can hear me, I found out what caused this barn to fail. The biggest thing is definitely the fact that this is rotten. So there's no bracing. Jeez, that wind. There's no bracing on that corner. Now this is what I mean. Like, this barn is leaning substantially this way, but because I have my truck pulling that direction on that side, I feel safe. And as I've said before, this wall here is very loose. That means that there's no tension, there's no pressure, nothing on it. So that wall, if I cut it, it's not going to affect this at all. So yeah, we're going to do this wall, pick it all up, do that wall, pick it all up, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Ready? Oh, it actually worked. So, just got done with lunch. This part is done. The old owner mentioned keeping one of the gates. I was on the other side, so I'm going to ask him about keeping this gate, see if he wants to. Yeah, there was just a little bit of electrical, nothing bad. And he said just cut it because it's obviously not going to be there anymore. So, yeah. Now, we start with the other side, and I will give you an update if I see anything different happen. As far as I can tell, this is working very well. It's not any tighter than it was earlier, so that's good. Some of the wind here has made this thing creak a little bit. It's a little bit sketchy, but yeah, we will. I'll keep you posted, see if anything happens. I'm trying to hold my phone in front of me so that way the wind doesn't screw it up. But I've encountered a little bit of an issue with the west side of the building, of the barn. Underneath all this OSB, so there was the tin, which was down there, which the guy's keeping. There was the OSB under that. On the other side, it was just rafters. Well, on this side, there's all this original shiplap style stuff, and it is brittle. So basically, I'm sure all this is going to be garbage. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's kind of cutting into my time a little bit here. I was hoping to have the building on the ground tonight. It's going on 4 o'clock. I may not have the side cleaned up, but I gotta get that on the ground so I can relieve tension off the truck. Alright, here we go. So update on the shiplap stuff on top of here. Well, it's about 2 hours later, and I'm gonna turn around and it's gonna be terrible with the wind, sorry. Okay, So I'm trying to save as much as I can from this barn, but at this point I have to cut these with a chainsaw and then bash them in. So it's just a mess right now. But we're hanging in there. So now that I've got the roof all off, I am slowly working on getting these raptors out of here. But it is scaring me a little bit because this thing is creaking like crazy and it is leaning harder and harder every time I take something out, which is a good thing because I want it to twist and fall basically right where it's at. So if you see here, like you can kind of see on this post where it used to be riding, and now you can see where it's pushing past it. Oh yeah, there you go. There's a good side. So that's how much more it's leaning now. Get this stuff cleaned up. Well, mind you, the bone is straight up and down. This is why I did this side first, because if I was to do this side now, I'd be so afraid to cut anything. But now, say I cut the wrong thing, or well, the right thing on that side, and it finally collapses, I will not get hurt that bad from being on this side. My biggest concern at this point is this water sprocket here. The guy said that it doesn't matter if it breaks off because he doesn't use it, but obviously he doesn't want it to. So I'm hoping the building will just, when it falls, because it's leaning outward on that side, so it's twisted. I'm hoping it'll kind of just twist and fall down once I get these walls out and once I get the truck off of it. I haven't let the truck off yet, but I'm hoping I can get that on video and hope it falls, because that's my goal for tonight, is for it to fall. That roof took forever. Alright, moment of truth here. So like I said, what I want the building to do is just fall, collapse like that the best I can. It's cut there and all the way around, so this part is not attached to the center part in any way. Cut there so I can drop the wall when I need to. There's one rung left in there, but it is cut there and cut up there, so it's not, you can see just from cutting it how much the building pulled away. Same with that wall, you see how much it's pulling. So I'm thinking that the truck is really helping, because that side hasn't really moved much at all. That's a chainsaw cut. So yeah, and then that wall's cut there. So it is the moment of truth. We're gonna see if when I get, look at all those screws. They're 3 inches deep. When I take tension off of this, is it going to go ahead and go? So my lead park and brake engage is going to beep at me, but that's alright. Uh-oh. Did not work. Well, let's see what's going on. Who doesn't need just a little persuasion in life? Got the truck hooked up on the other side. Got a really long strap on it with the chain. So we're gonna see if we can't get it to pop this way. Okay, try it again. Alright, it is getting dark, so we gotta get this down. So, I have a wrap, same thing, but kitty corner to the side we just tried to pull. It's actually leaning this way some. So, wasn't leaning the other way at all. Maybe just a little bit of persuasion will do it. Alright, I'm pulling at a different angle. More of the way it's leaning. Whoops. Try it again. Alright. So it's actually 8:42, but I don't know why my clock's off. So, got it hooked up on the corner. I'm going to try to pull into itself now. See what happens. Alright, this is the time. I got a feeling. No. Alright, different angle. Got it all hooked up good. Should be alright. I don't understand. How is this thing still standing? Broke my strap. Alright. Broke strap. Now we're going to see if we can get this going again. Made it a little bit longer this time. I'm not going to snap it though. I don't understand. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Let's start this one off with a bang. The neighbor of the gentleman who owns this dropped off some chains last night because my weak point was my straps. It rained last night, so we're gonna see what happens when we get two chains on it here. Alright, so that is not gonna work, so I'm going to keep tension on it and just slowly cut the corner posts. See how it goes. Right, let's try it out. Rain last night, I'm slipping. I was just pulling, I heard a big old pop, so flew her close. The thing is, this pasture is like grease. You can't get any traction. Worst thing that can happen here is just that corner pulls out, because then I don't have anywhere to pull. Just like that. It's the worst thing that could have happened. Okay, I got hooked to a main beam on the inside. So let's see what happens here. Oh, just pulled that beam right off. Well, maybe it'll still work. Nope, just pulled the beam out. Okay, I'm really running out of places to put this chain. So, I have it, these these two nearest studs on this corner. My only option, really. So once again, traction issue. Uh-oh. It's pulling them out. Actually, I might just pull this whole side of the building off. Down. Didn't mean to hit the button. But there you have it. That's not exactly what I wanted to happen, but it's okay that it happened that way. So yeah, just essentially ripped this entire wall off. Now we got cleanup. Yeah, whoever the owner was told that he would only give the barn a year and it would collapse on its own. And I don't know, that was pretty tough. I would be blown away if that wouldn't have lasted another couple of years. So, biggest issue. One, my pipe over here. What happened to it? Oh, we're good. Just poked right through. Perfect. Okay. A little bit of tin damage. Nothing terrible, but it's manageable. And oh, it was ripping the footing or the concrete out of it. That's what's going on. Must have been faceted to the concrete pretty darn good over here. And it did. This is the electrical box that the guy had to save. And it did. Looks like it broke it off at the ground. Maybe not. It feels like it's just stretched and bent. Perfect. So yeah, this is still hooked up to electric. It's turned off, but yeah. Now we can start cutting. More cleanup. Hooray. Drop that part first. Load all that up on the trailer, and then the trailer's done. I can get this cleaned up, and I'm going to have to come back next weekend. Here we go. Alright, so we got the whole west side cleaned up. I'm going to come back next weekend and I'll deal with all this little stuff here. There's no sense in moving it twice. I'll just park the trailer right there and load it right on the trailer. So we talked to the homeowner. The homeowner asked if I wanted to take all of it or do I just want the structural stuff. And we came out on a deal that he is going to post, or he did post, the barnwood, the decorative stuff that people like, onto Facebook Marketplace, and he found somebody who wants to come get it next weekend. And me and him agreed on a price, and we're just going to split it 50-50. So let's say we get $2 or $3 a board foot for bulk, because he wants to buy all of it for bulk pricing. That potentially could be $1,000 a piece for us, and that is on top of my. It's only going to cost me probably $500 in fuel, and obviously I get all the free structural wood on top of that. So I think win-win-win for me. But yeah, so now I've got that all cleaned up over there. Now it's time to start cleaning up this. The trailer is pretty full. I'm getting to the point where things are starting to fall off, and I have to really be careful what I try to throw on there. So I think this is all I'm going to haul for this load, and then next time, and there's a lot of barnwood on this that I'm taking back with me. But the next load, or next time I come back, I'll be able to fit all of this on there because I will not be taking the barn wood itself. So, and then I'll have to build a small box or something for all the piles of junk stuff that I have. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's going really, really well. We are making progress. Was able to get everything down without too much damage. You know, there's going to be damage, obviously, but like the bigger stuff I care about seems to all be good and intact. So yeah, we're working on it, and I think I'm going to load up and get out of here in the next hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Yeah, and we'll go from there. So